In this episode, I'm talking about part 2 of what nobody tells you about podcasting. This is a follow-up, so if you've not watched the previous video, I suggest you go and watch that first, because otherwise it won't make a whole lot of sense. Although we'll give you a bit of context if you have just stumbled across this one. So in the previous part, I talked about all the steps that are required in order to do a video podcast and why it takes so long, what you need to think about, how you need to promote it, all that kind of stuff. And what I said was it was Saturday, 10 o'clock, what could I do by lunchtime? And we've got to 12 o'clock now, midday, and I'm just going to give you an update because I've actually finished everything I needed to do as part of that episode, and I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took following the recording of the episode. So the first thing I did, I made a little Word document just to sort of dictate what I was doing as I was doing it. And the first thing I did, of course, was to upload the episode into Descript. So by doing that, it allowed me to then transcribe the episode using AI and then just remove all of the filler words. So it probably took me about 5 minutes to upload a 1.5 gigabyte file. The video was about 20 minutes long. I think it came out in the end, once I finished editing it, about 15, 16 minutes long. And you have to do a first pass. So the editing part of the process, I think the main edit took me about half an hour, and you basically have to watch it and fix any issues within the video. You'll see there's a little part of the previous episode where I make some mistakes. I think it's right at the start, and I left that in, and I was like, okay, I'll keep that in. But there was some other little parts where I had a drink of my coffee, for example, and I removed that out of the video. So you have to do that first pass, and roughly half an hour it took me to do that. So not a massive amount of time. It was fairly straightforward. And then I did the 6 clips. So then what I wanted to do is add some social media posts and social media videos. So these are short 1 to 2 minute clips that I can post on YouTube Shorts, Reels, TikToks, all that kind of stuff. And I added a little bit of a video at the end that says, watch this full episode on my podcast. Those 6 clips, I used a piece of AI inside of Descript that allows you to create social clips. So it's this kind of thing that Riverside and Opus Clip does, or Minvo if you use any of those products, but it's all inside of Descript. I still would use those other products for different types of videos, but in this instance, when I'm just trying to use the one piece of software and be as efficient as I can be, I decided that I was going to use Descript for everything. So I created those 6 clips. Of course, once you create those 6 clips, you then got to go through and watch them as well. So I watched all the 6 clips. I made sure the captions were correct. There was no spelling mistakes or errors in the captions. I might have extended the odd clip here and there as well. So we were talking about, so I think the first part, I said half an hour. It's probably more like 40 minutes. Second part probably took me another half an hour as well. So it's about an hour and 10 minutes. And then I had to get on the other stuff that I need to do as part of the podcast. So that was creating the graphics. Had to go and find my templates to create the 2 graphics that I've got, the thumbnail and the square image for the podcast. Modified those so they're ready for the podcast. I then used Descript again to create the summary of the episode, the YouTube summary, the show notes summary, and added those to the podcast as well. And then I've got a little a template, which is like a Notion document where I store all of this information so I can see which podcasts I've published and that kind of thing, just to keep it all nice and tidy. Because once you get beyond like 10 episodes, you can easily get unorganized, basically. So having some way to organize all the episodes is really important. What I found when I did that is that I got like 5 episodes that I'd filmed that have not been edited, that have not been published, that are sat there waiting. So I'm here talking about like how difficult it is. Clearly the filming is not the bit that's difficult, it's all of the other stuff, because I've already got these episodes in the bank. So I need to go and get those published as well. So just a short episode then, really just to let you know that actually you can do all of this. I timed it on my stopwatch. So I used my app on my phone, my stopwatch app, and I timed it, and it took me an hour and 40 minutes from the point of sitting down with Descript to go through and do all of that. So really, if I think about the 20 minutes of filming the episode, plus the hour and 40 to edit it, create all of the clips, the social media clips, review it, all of that kind of stuff, you can say within 2 hours you could publish an episode every week. Now, I've got a few unfair advantages. As I mentioned, my podcast is set up and ready to go. I've got some templates for my thumbnails, although I will say that I'm going to be changing those following a YouTube session that I watched, a YouTube podcasting session that I watched with one of the guys from YouTube. It was their advice, and they said, don't put the words episode in your thumbnail, which I definitely do at the moment, but we'll get around to changing that as well. So some things there, but anyway, back to my unfair advantages. So my unfair advantages are that I've got those templates, that I've got the setup, the filming setup, just like I'm filming here on my Osmo Pocket. This is not the best environment. It's very dark in here. I know the quality of the footage is not going to be as good as it would normally be, but it doesn't matter too much. I just wanted to make sure I get it done. My other unfair advantage is potentially confidence around the video itself. You know, when I'm watching myself back and going through that edit, I don't overthink the way I sound, the way I look, or anything like that. Actually, I just focus on getting the edit done. So I think when you're starting, some of the confidence things, the insecurities that you have about yourself might be something that causes you a problem. Even listening to your own voice can be an issue for some people. So that's definitely another unfair advantage. And then now there's still more work to do. Even though I've done that 2 hours of work, I still need to publish the episode itself. I still need to publish the clips that I've got. So there's probably another half an hour's worth of work, maybe an hour's worth of work to do to get all of that done. So yeah, that's how long it takes. And this is what nobody tells you about running a video podcast. My name is Matt Hughes, King of Video. See you next time.